backyard alive, and then she was the first person to pick him up along with his father.
Filed for divorce from the boy's stepmother and was granted a restraining order against her.
We're not in a position to talk about suspects right now.
She's the last known person to see Kyron before he disappeared June 4th.
Is she a person of interest?
We're not in a position to talk about people of interest. She's associated with the case because she was, the last person to see Kyron.
Her behavior has caused the police to give her 2 polygraphs. They've taken her truck twice. She's been questioned for up to 6 hours, according to her father, several times.
We are taking your calls live out to Ruby in Indiana, but hold on, Ruby. Just as we were going to break, I heard Attorney Bradford Cohen saying something. I just picked up the tail end of it, Bradford. Bradford joining us out of Miami. Giudice was talking about the restraining order, and you said not without a hearing, right?
Right. Judge,
okay.
Essentially what happens, Nancy, is I said not without a hearing. These are very serious things when you take away a biological baby away from a biological mother.
Hey, put Cohen up.
And the
you don't
hearing,
think we know that?
Yes, but what I'm saying
Everybody on the show is either a cop, a shrink, or a lawyer. We know it's serious. I am a mother.
But
I know it's serious. So tell me something I don't know, Cohen.
Okay, it's entered ex parte, which means the mother has no defense to this. He files the paperwork, and as Ray so eloquently put it, it's based on the factual statements in that motion. It's not based on any hearing. So what I'm saying is the mother doesn't have a defense to it. So to take something so seriously as a baby away from a biological mother, it has to be a huge factual statement that is entered in there. These are not entered willy-nilly. A judge has to seriously look at this because there is no defense put on by the mother before they take the baby away.
Put Cohen and Giudice up. Cohen, you could not be more correct. So let's make it very clear to the viewers how we think this whole thing went down. And everyone, this is a major, major development in the search for 7-year-old Kyron. His stepmother says she took him to school, his elementary school, a public elementary school in a very rural area. She walks him into the science fair, takes a photo, walks him to his first class, his homeroom, the bell rings, she waves to him, and that was that. He never was in that class. The teacher says he was never in that class. Okay, something's not right. Since last night when we discussed this case, the father has not only filed for divorce, but gotten a temporary restraining order banning the mother from seeing their baby, a 19-month-old baby girl, having anything to do with the children, including Kyron, and to stay away from firearms. In a nutshell, Giudice, how does it work? Who goes into court? Who says what?
The complaint is filed for divorce with a proposed temporary restraining order. The judge put the petitioner, the father, under oath. The lawyer and the client made a proffer of evidence to the judge. It was ex parte. The judge ruled right then and there and sealed the documents. The judge was obviously concerned.
To Dr. Robert Kaufman, an expert in his field of internal medicine, joining us out of Atlanta. Dr. Kaufman, to all the moms out there, they already know the answer to this. But explain the care a 19-month-old baby girl needs. Look, my husband is totally hands-on. My parents, their grandparents, they're hands-on. My husband's parents, hands-on. But I would not trust a single soul other than me to take care of that baby. And they are taking the baby away from the mother. What kind of care does that 19-month-old need?
First of all, you sound just like my wife, but the truth is...
Yeah, no offense to the husbands, it's just that...
No, you're absolutely right. But, you got to wonder that, first of all, that they got the restraining order. The father must be involved with the care of the baby to begin with. Secondly, you would think that the 19-month-old would be very hysterical to be away from her mother unless she's abusive or evil to the child. So there's something else going on. So the father must have a role in taking care of that baby. It is very difficult. I don't think anybody can replace a mother, but there's something going on with the relationship with that 19-month-old that made this happen.
I mean, Mark Klass, president, founder, Klass Kids Foundation, this is a very serious development in the case. I mean, this practically screams out, Terry Horman is implicated. And no, she's not been named a suspect. She has not been named a person of interest. But the fact that they are keeping this file secret because it could hinder the case, I mean, Mark, when Lucy was 19 months, she still was not eating correctly. I would have to try and feed her in the bathtub. That's the only way I could get her, or anybody could get her to eat solid food, was to feed her as she sat in the bathtub. And it would take me sometimes an hour and a half, and I would bathe her twice a day so I could feed her solid food. Now, what if this baby has some kind of an issue like that? And this is so integral to the police investigation. They've taken the 19-month-old away from the mother.
You know, last March, this woman had 3 children living with her, and now she is standing absolutely alone. But the central heartbreak in this entire case is the fact that Kyron is still missing. Let's say Kyron, yeah, let's just hope that they are able to get the information out of her that will lead them to this little boy's whereabouts, because his parents, his bio parents, deserve to know what's happened to him, and they deserve to bring him home.
Mark, this is not, if she's implicated, this means somebody hasn't taken the baby and we're going to get a ransom note. All right? This doesn't mean the 7-year-old has been taken to another country and somebody has swiped him because they want a little boy to raise. If she did it, she's been nowhere near Kyron. It means he's dead. If she did it.
Nancy, I would not want to be the first person to say that, but this has not looked good from the beginning. This woman has lied. She's placed herself at the location and time of his disappearance within mere seconds. She went to Sauvie Island, although she claims she never went to Sauvie Island.
See, I don't understand what that is. I don't understand. What is Sauvie Island? Do we have a map of that, Dana? Explain to me. She went to some island. We know that because of her cell phone pings. But isn't it nearby and the family had been there before? What is that, Sauvie Island?
It's about 9 miles away, and it's only accessible from the school by one road. It's about a 15-minute trip to this island, and yes, they had been there before, and apparently it's a marshy kind of an area where possibly a body could be disposed of.
And was there any reason for her to be there? Was the timing on those pings from her cell phone, Mark class, immediately after she dropped him off at school, she went there? I mean, what's the timeline on that?
Yeah, I'm not sure if the timeline was immediately after she dropped him off, or if in fact it was during the times that she supposedly was dropping him off. But she's also claimed that she wasn't at Sauvie Island, so the mystery only deepens. The mystery only deepens as we move forward.
Okay, Kevin Miller, is that correct? Did she say she was not at Sauvie Island?
As far as I know, that is correct, yes.
Okay, that is a big problem, Kevin Miller, because a ping doesn't lie. To Sergeant Scott Haynes, Sheriff's Officer, Santa Rosa County, Florida, Sergeant, explain to me about the cell phone pings. A ping couldn't be wrong.
Cell phone pings work off of triangulation and GPS, and you can sometimes get satellite drift, but within a couple meters, you're going to get a reliable location.
Don't say
of
meters.
Where that cell phone was at.
This is America. Meters. What do you mean by meters?
Unfortunately, that's what they give it to us in. Within 15 to 20 feet, you're going to get
Now you're talking English. Thank you. To Dr. Janet Taylor, psychiatrist and MD, you have studied her body language. You have studied everything that she has said so far. Weigh in.
Well, I mean, I think there are a lot of things troubling about her. Number one is this little Kyron couldn't even see that well. And what mother would walk in and not deposit her child in the class, number one. The discrepancy about where she was, and also the fact that reportedly she went to the gym to work out while he's missing. So there certainly is an element of detachment. And I agree with what Mark said. In March, she had 3 kids with her. Now she has none. You just wonder about the quality of the relationship and what was going on with her psychologically. And also, in addition to the restraining order, maybe over the weekend she made a threat to hurt herself or her family, and so she was considered a danger to herself or her family, and that's another reason why the 19-month-old was taken away from her.